Hey there, it's Jenny Fennick from jennyfennick.com coming to you with your gutsy business and life tip. Let's go. Today I want to talk to you about how I met my husband. I love this topic, and I'm doing it because we have just celebrated our 9-year wedding anniversary. 9 years on June 4th, because we got married on June 4th, 2005. And I'm sharing this story with you because there are some universal discoveries, like pieces of wisdom, that I'm going to share with you that you can use to manifest anything you'd like, whether it be a lover, whether it be a house, a vacation, a best friend, or whatever. What is it that you really want in your life? Is it to have this amazingly profitable business? Like, you name it. The pieces of wisdom that I'm going to share with you, kind of like the 4 keys from this story, you can use in your own life and in your own business. And so for Stephen and myself, I will never forget meeting him way back in the day when we were living in New York City in our amazing apartment. We both lived in the same building. And so let's go back in time into early 2003. It was February of 2003. And there he is. And I lived in this building for more than a year, and I had never seen this guy. And we had a lot of people in that building. There were thousands of people in the building. It was one of those big New York City buildings. We had 3 towers, and I lived in one tower. Turns out he lived in a different tower. We didn't even share an elevator, which was good because after I met him, I'm like, oh, I really liked him, but I'm like, what if it doesn't work out? I have to run into him in the elevator. I wasn't going to have to run into him in the elevator because we had 2 separate elevators. But there he was. We both ended up at the front desk of our apartment building, and I had been working late on a Friday night, and which was common. I worked in public relations. I worked late a lot. It was just kind of part of the deal, and I was really tired, and I was also kind of still healing over a past romance that had ended. And that romance, I had been dating this other guy for like 2 years. It ended. I knew it needed to end, but I was still really upset. And I'd pretty much sworn off men. I was like, I'm done. I'm pouring all of my energy into my career because I need to do that for a while. I didn't want to get my heart broken again. So I had pretty much unattached from the idea of needing to have a boyfriend in my life, needing to have romance in my life. So that was key number 1, was I was unattached to this idea of like, I have to have a boyfriend to be whole or complete. And that was a really good step for me because so much of my life I felt like I needed a boyfriend. And now I was at this place where I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm like on this path. I'm doing really well in my work, and that's what I'm going on. So I was unattached. But lo and behold, there he was. And we struck up this conversation, and I really was taken by him, his energy, just his eyes, how kind and friendly he seemed, which wasn't always the case where I was living in New York. You know, some people are like really focused and they're hardcore, and he just seemed to be this breath of fresh air. And so I was letting down my guard talking to him, and I was open to just signs I was getting. So this is the number 2 piece of wisdom I want to share with you, is to be open. And so in this case, I noticed that he had a Quicksilver t-shirt on. And although I was living in New York City at the time, I grew up in Florida. I am a beach girl at heart, and Quicksilver is a big surf brand, and I grew up with Quicksilver. And at that time, not a lot of people in New York were wearing Quicksilver, and so I'm like, Quicksilver, wow, this guy, like maybe he's from the beach. That's cool. And another really cool thing that happened was he was going to my alma mater that weekend. I went to the University of Florida, and he was going to Gainesville, which is where UF is located. He was going there that weekend for work. And I was like, what? You know, this was all these little signs were dropping into my attention field, right? And I'm like, wow, this guy, like, got some things in common. We were talking so easily. It was really cool. And that was really the start of our relationship. I ended up giving him my number. So ladies, if you're watching this and you're wondering if it's okay to give a guy your number, it certainly is. I took the initiative because I liked this person. I felt I felt at ease, and I wasn't going to just wait around for him to make the offer or the invitation to me to give him my number. So I just said, I'm going to do it. And I did. And he called, and the rest, as I say, is history. But no, there was work involved to staying connected while dating, to eventually getting married. And now we've been together, married for 9 years. We have 3 children. It's amazing. But what I did from the time that we met, and even to this day, was I'm constantly decluttering. So that's my third tip for you, is to declutter. And for me, that meant I was engaged in some really important therapy work. I had a wonderful therapist at that time who helped me do some healing work around commitment, around trust, around what is marriage. My parents are divorced, so I needed to come up with my own definition of what I wanted that to be, and to know that I was going to be good at it, right? That I could do it, that I had what it took to commit and to choose wisely, choose a partner wisely, and to be able to communicate and all those things. So you need to be decluttering in your life, whether it be in a relationship, in your business, like always looking at what can you let go of? What can you let go of that's not serving you, whether it be ideas, whether it be certain people in your life, whether it be an environment that's not serving you anymore. You need to be decluttering. And then the fourth key that I want to share with you is nourishing the relationship, or nourishing whatever it is, whatever this thing is that's in your life that's important to you. You need to nourish this entity. And in our case, it's been, we have regular date nights. Every Tuesday night we have a standing babysitter, and sometimes we don't even leave the house, but it's nice to just have somebody here, especially now with 3 kids, to help us just take some of the load off of our plate. Often we go out to dinner. For our 5-year wedding anniversary, we went to a couples retreat at a place called Kripalu, and that retreat actually inspired us to leave New York City and move to where we live now, which is the Berkshires of Western Massachusetts, and that's 20 minutes away from this place called Kripalu, which is where we attended the couples retreat. So, this idea that everything that in our life that's important is just it's a journey that you're on, and it's up to you. Like, you are truly in the driver's seat, and you need to be really walking through these steps that I shared with you when you want to manifest something into your life, when you want to attract something in, and then when you want to nurture it and keep it here. In my case, my marriage is one of the most important things in my life. And so if I wasn't willing to be unattached, right, to meeting that mate, then to be open to signs I was getting, and to be open to that person coming in, then to do that decluttering work, and to still do that decluttering work, right, and then to nourish the connection, then, if I wasn't willing to do that in my life, I wouldn't be talking to you right now, sharing this story and having my children and living where we do, and just really being so grateful and so happy about what Stephen and I have created together. And so if you are looking to create anything in your life, I hope these tips are helpful for you. Unattached, be open, declutter, and nourish, okay? So Stephen, happy 9-year wedding anniversary. I love you, and I'm so grateful for you. And everyone listening, thanks so much for being here. I wish you all of the joy in the world, that you can attract in what it is that you want, and do the inner work required to keep that thing alive and vibrant and serving you, and then you serving whatever it is that you are attracting in. It is truly such a beautiful part of being alive. So go out there, attract in what you want, and do what it takes to keep that thing alive and exciting and beautiful. Much love to you.